The 90s were undoubtedly the golden age of sitcoms, but as we get further from that decade, we lose more and more of the actors who made those shows so special. Here are some of the 90s sitcom stars who have passed on. Despite appearing in numerous blockbuster films, Richard Hurd's role as Mr. Wilhelm on Seinfeld earned him the most fan recognition. According to the New York Times, Hurd logged just 11 episodes of the show, playing George Costanza's mysterious boss and underling of New York Yankees owner George Steinbrenner. For Seinfeld fans, Wilhelm remains one of the most mysterious characters. Similar to George, it's unclear what Wilhelm actually does or how he keeps a job, given his failing memory, ineptitude, and dishonesty. Speaking with the Patriot Ledger, Hurd described how a childhood illness led to an unlikely skill. He said, "I had osteomyelitis, a serious bone infection, and almost didn't survive. I was in and out of Boston Children's Hospital. Lying there month after month, you become very stoic. It really stimulated my imagination and I think actually helped me later as an actor." After Seinfeld, Hurd landed roles on The O.C., Rizzoli and Isles, and in Get Out, a particularly sinister part that allowed him to showcase his versatility late in his career. In 2020, Hurd's wife announced that he had died from colon cancer complications at the age of 87. For younger audiences, Fred Willard might be best known from his time as Phil Dunphy's father on Modern Family, but the comedian has been making film and television audiences laugh for many decades. A regular star in Christopher Guest films, including This Is Spinal Tap, Best in Show, and Waiting for Guffman, Willard also made his mark on the 90s sitcoms Roseanne and Everybody Loves Raymond, among others. According to Variety, he was even nominated for 4 Emmy Awards for his sitcom work, 3 for Everybody Loves Raymond, and 1 for Modern Family. TMZ reported in 2020 that Willard died at the age of 86 from cardiac arrest and complications from some other underlying conditions. His wife Mary had died in 2018. Willard's friends and admirers gave their condolences to his family and shared their feelings of the man and his work. Jamie Lee Curtis, the wife of Willard's longtime collaborator Guest, posted hers on Instagram. "A fond farewell to Mr. Fred Willard. How lucky we all are that we got to witness his great gifts. Thanks for the deep belly laughs. You are now with Mary."
I told my proctologist once, "Hey, why don't you take me out to dinner and a movie sometime, you know?"
Yes. I remember you said that last year. Yes.
Yeah.
Throughout most of the 90s, David Schramm played the cranky Roy Biggins to perfection on Wings. Outside of that role, he was known as a wonderful stage actor who put together an impressive theater resume over the years. According to the New York Times, Schramm was part of the Juilliard School's first drama class and won rave reviews on Broadway for his work. That stage success led him to television, and specifically, the role that won him so much recognition among 90s TV fans. Few details were released about the actor's death in 2020, other than that he died at his New York home at the age of 73. Many friends spoke about Schramm's legacy, including his Wings co-star Tim Daly, who wrote in an email to USA Today, "Most of you will remember David as the irascible Roy Biggins from Wings, and that's too bad. I am here to tell you he was so much more. He was a brilliant actor and a comic genius. More importantly, he was dear-hearted, complicated, mischievous, and beautifully sensitive. He was a human being, and I loved him, and I will miss him." Playing 2 of the most memorable fathers in sitcom history, Jerry Stiller brought plenty of life to his biggest characters, Frank Costanza on Seinfeld and Arthur Spooner on King of Queens.
The nerve of that woman walking into my house, stealing my collectible!
According to the New York Times, Stiller first found comedy success alongside his wife, Ann Mira, in the 60s. The comedy team worked together for years before pursuing solo ventures. Decades later on King of Queens, they reunited on screen, and their characters married. Mira died in 2015. Stiller, the real-life father of comedian and actor Ben Stiller, built himself a strong reputation in the industry. When he died in 2020, the loss was felt by many. Jason Alexander, who played Stiller's son on Seinfeld, tweeted about his friend. "He was perhaps the kindest man I ever had the honor to work beside. He made me laugh when I was a child and every day I was with him. A great actor, a great man, a lovely friend." Leah Remini shared her thoughts via Instagram. "I was lucky enough to work with Jerry Stiller, playing his daughter for 9 years on The King of Queens, but even luckier to know him, the man, the husband, the father, the grandfather. I am only comforted knowing that Ann and Jerry, the great comedy duo of Stiller and Mira, are back together. I will be forever grateful for the memories." Shelley Morrison's sitcom fame only occupied the final year of the 90s, but her character made a big impact in a short amount of time. Playing Rosario Salazar, the maid of Megan Mullally's character Karen on Will and Grace, Morrison showcased her comedic abilities and gained herself an army of new fans nearly 4 decades after she started acting. According to Variety, the actor was only meant to appear in 1 episode, but her chemistry with the cast was too compelling to ignore. She starred in 8 seasons and would have appeared in the Will and Grace revival if she hadn't retired from acting. According to the New York Times, the 83-year-old actor died in late 2019 from heart failure. In a biography published to her website, Morrison addressed her popular character. "Rosario is one of my all-time favorite characters. She reminds me a lot of my own mother, who loved animals and children, but she would not suffer fools. It is very significant to me that we were able to show an older Hispanic woman who is bright and smart and can hold her own." Working in various films and TV shows throughout the 80s, including voicing Shredder in the original animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, James Avery hit the big time in the early 90s playing Philip Banks on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. The veteran actor continued in the industry for decades after that show went off the air, but it was his tough-love Uncle Phil character that endeared him to a generation of TV fans and helped him build a powerful legacy. In early 2014, the world was saddened to learn that Avery died as a result of complications from a late 2013 open heart surgery. TMZ also reported that Avery suffered from kidney disease and diabetes at the end of his life. An outpouring of support from friends and co-stars showed how much the actor meant to his peers. Will Smith wrote on Facebook, "Some of my greatest lessons in acting, living, and being a respectable human being came through James Avery. Every young man needs an Uncle Phil. Rest in peace." Coming from Days of Our Lives and Married with Children, actor Lisa Robin Kelly reached her highest level of fame playing Lori Foreman, Eric's sister on That 70s Show, beginning in 1998. After 3 successful seasons, her character was written off the show. She returned briefly, but exited permanently after the 6th season. She said in an interview with ABC News, "I had lost a baby. As a result of that, I lost everything and I was abusing alcohol. I was guilty of the drinking problem and I ran. I have paid my dues." Unfortunately, Kelly still had some problems to face down. According to TMZ, she was arrested for driving under the influence in 2010. In 2012, TMZ reported that the actor had been arrested for abusing her male roommate, though she denied the allegations. The following year, the Wrap reported that Kelly had admitted herself into a rehab facility. Not long after, she died from multiple drug intoxication. Kelly's husband filed a wrongful death report against the facility, as per West Side Today, which was reportedly settled with unknown terms. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Administration's 24/7 national helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. Actor and stand-up comedian Yvette Wilson was best known for her character Andell Wilkerson from Moesha and the spin-off The Parkers. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the 48-year-old actor died from stage 4 cervical cancer in 2012. In a BBC report, friend Jeffrey Pittle said that her cancer was in remission for several years before returning and taking her life. She had received a kidney transplant not long before her death as well. Through social media, many of Wilson's friends and coworkers sent messages of love and tribute. Moesha star Shar Jackson tweeted, "Cancer. Oh God, my heart is so unbelievably broken. I want to thank all my tweeties for their prayers, but God has chosen to take my sister Yvette home." Jamie Foxx, who worked with Wilson on his show briefly, tweeted, "God bless you, Yvette Wilson. Tears in my eyes. Keep God laughing." Lamont Bentley didn't have long enough to build the resume many thought he was capable of, dying tragically in 2005 when he was just 31 years old. According to the Los Angeles Times, the talented actor was returning home from a screening of one of his new films when he was involved in a fatal car accident. His manager said, "He was a bright candle that just got snuffed out. He was in a great place emotionally, physically. Everything was going right for him." Appearing in several shows in the early 90s, Bentley found a lasting home on Moesha, playing Hakeem Campbell, the titular character's friend and neighbor. Beginning in 1999, the character also appeared in the Moesha spin-off The Parkers. According to Brandy Norwood, the star of Moesha, a possible reboot could appear on Netflix in the future. She told ET, "I am in talks right now with the right people for that to happen. I don't see it not happening because of the success on Netflix. It just makes sense. If that does go through, fans will surely be hoping for a touching tribute for Moesha's old friend." While some fans may not necessarily recognize him by face, Earl Hindman's voice and a simple visual gag helped him create one of the more memorable characters in 90s television. On Home Improvement, Hindman played Wilson, the Taylor's next-door neighbor who would only show the top half of his face. According to CBS News, the actor first found fame in theater and moved into film and TV, including starring on Daytime's Ryan's Hope for 16 seasons. In 2003, just a few years after Home Improvement went off the air, Hindman died of lung cancer, according to the New York Times. 10 years later, when Home Improvement star Patricia Richardson was asked if there would be a reunion show, she thought about Hindman. She told TMZ reporters, "Never. No. Earl died. We can't have one without Earl." While Richardson's words came true, Hindman did get a tribute on Tim Allen's show Last Man Standing. Allen brought back his Tim Taylor character for the show and referenced his old friend and neighbor.
"So we're sharing now?" "Well, not sharing. I always find it easier to open up when I'm just talking to the top half of another man's face."
In an interview with TV Line, showrunner Kevin Abbott spoke about the episode. He wanted to make certain that his affection for the Wilson character and Earl was in there and that it was honest. "It was interesting because the whole episode moved Tim. He was affected by it." If nothing else, Family Matters introduced huge swaths of the population to Rosetta LeNoire, the actor who played Mother Winslow on the show for 9 seasons. According to the New York Times, when President Bill Clinton awarded her with the National Medal of the Arts, he said, "Rosetta did more than dream of a theater with no color bar. She actually built one." Beginning her career on the stage, LeNoire broke into television during its experimental stage in the 1950s. She also starred alongside Sammy Davis Jr. in the 1958 film version of Anna Lucasta, the goddaughter of legendary Bill Bojangles Robinson, actor in the famous Orson Welles all-black play Macbeth, and founder of Amos, a theater company that promoted non-racial casting. LeNoire was an icon. Inspired by her work in theater and helping increase diversity in the industry, a theater award was named in her honor. According to Entertainment Weekly, LeNoire died in 2002 at 90 years of age. Family Matters co-creator Bill Bickley said she was a rock for the series. Every series has a set leader. It can be a director, it can be a star, but it's an emotional foundation that an actor brings to a set, and Rosetta had that. Who she was made everybody want to be better. Appearing in several popular shows throughout the 90s, Merlin Santana had his longest and most successful run on The Steve Harvey Show, beginning in 1996. The young actor played Romeo on the show through 2002. Tragically, it was in November of that year when Santana was shot and killed in Los Angeles. According to the Los Angeles Times, Santana was leaving a friend's house when he was shot in the head while sitting in his friend's car. Apparently, a then 15-year-old girl had lied to 2 of her male friends, Brandon Bynes and Damian Gates, saying that Santana had been inappropriate with her. This led the 2 men to wait in ambush for the actor and kill him as he tried to leave. All 3 of the suspects were arrested and charged, with the primary shooter receiving 70 years to life in prison. Reportedly, Santana's friend and the driver of the vehicle he was shot in was Brandon Adams, the actor who played Jesse in The Mighty Ducks and Kenny in The Sandlot.
The Titan of Terror.
In a rare interview with Jet magazine, Adams called Santana's death devastating, adding, "It took me a long time to recover from that. Merlin was my best friend, and the murder was a senseless thing." David Strickland was young and promising when he died, and the media frenzy that followed his death was rabid. Coming off of a successful third season of Suddenly Susan in 1999, as well as a small part in the Ben Affleck and Sandra Bullock comedy Forces of Nature, the actor took his own life. The subsequent press was not kind, with the tabloids reporting a slew of speculation about Strickland and media outlets inundating his associates with requests for comment. The aftermath was so frustrating to co-star Brooke Shields, she eventually issued the following statement: "David was my family, and if the press have even a modicum of integrity, I beg them to spare us their insensitive prying." According to Entertainment Weekly, Strickland was dating fellow actor Tiffany Thiessen and seemed to be enjoying a career upswing when he died. The outlet also noted, however, that Strickland was a recovering alcoholic and had a court date on the day his body was found for a previous cocaine possession charge. Comedian Andy Dick was later questioned about his involvement, having apparently spent a few days with Strickland prior to his death. Strickland's co-workers were expectedly distraught by the news of his death. Brooke Shields told the New York Post, "There is rarely a minute in any day that I don't have David in my mind. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. Most admirers of Madeline Kahn's work will likely remember her best for her collaborations with Mel Brooks, including her appearances in Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. The New York Times reported that Brooks said of Kahn, "She is one of the most talented people that ever lived. I mean, either in stand-up comedy or acting or whatever you want, you can't beat Madeline Kahn." Her best work in the 90s came on Cosby, in which she played the neighbor Pauline Fox. She spent 3 full seasons on the show. After taping 4 episodes for the 4th season, Kahn took a leave of absence after being diagnosed with ovarian cancer. A month before her death in 1999, she spoke about her illness. The Independent reported her words. "During the past year, I have been undergoing aggressive treatment for ovarian cancer. It is my hope that I might raise awareness of this awful disease and hasten the day that an effective test can be discovered to give women a fighting chance to catch this cancer at its earliest stage." For 7 seasons, the Seaver family shared its story with America on Growing Pains. While the show has become a trivia question for younger generations for featuring young actors who became megastars, including Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, it was a ratings giant in the late 80s. Growing Pains' dad, Alan Thicke, bounced around for a while between shows and movies. He also had a pretty successful music career making theme songs for TV shows, including Different Strokes. His son Robin became a super successful musician as well, with his hit song Blurred Lines. However, in late 2016, tragedy struck the Growing Pains family. According to People, Thicke was playing hockey with one of his sons when he experienced chest pain. Not long after arriving at the hospital, he died of a ruptured aorta at the age of 69. Thicke's memorial service was attended by family and friends. Bob Saget and Alex Trebek attended, as did the cast of Growing Pains, including DiCaprio and Cameron. Playing Mrs. Dubček on Third Rock from the Sun, Elmarie Wendel found her most successful role in a career that spanned several decades on stage and film. Wendel's character on the show was one of its high points, the liberated landlady who helped the aliens navigate their own relationship problems. According to Variety, Wendel died in 2018. Her death was announced in a short social media post by her daughter. "You were a great mom and a badass dame." Jim Beaver, the actor who played Happy Doug for only a few episodes on Third Rock from the Sun, found a few more words. He posted on Facebook, "She was raucous, funny, endearing, and terribly, terribly sweet. Good night, Mrs. Dubček, wherever you are." After the hit NBC show ended, Wendel continued acting on Broadway and in television shows, including George Lopez. She also did some voice acting, including voicing Aunt Griselda in The Lorax. She was 89 when she died. Dustin Diamond had an on-and-off relationship with fame throughout his life. An actor best known for playing Samuel Screech Powers on Saved by the Bell, Diamond enjoyed high levels of success in the late 80s and most of the 90s. As countless child actors do, he struggled to maintain that momentum into adulthood. As a result, he morphed into a reality star of sorts, taking on film and television roles that tried to capitalize on his once iconic image, including Celebrity Big Brother, Celebrity Fit Club, and Dickie Roberts' former child star. But Diamond also struggled with personal scandals, chief among them his allegedly faked sex tape, which he told Oprah was, quote, the thing that he was most embarrassed about and caused him the most career trouble. This, in combination with a string of other controversial decisions and events, did irreparable damage to Diamond's public image. According to CNN, the actor released a tell-all book in 2009 about his time on Saved by the Bell, called Behind the Bell, and was jailed for stabbing a man in a bar fight in 2014. In January 2021, Diamond was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after he went to the hospital for pain throughout his body. Despite attempting a round of chemotherapy, the actor died just 3 weeks after his diagnosis. In a statement to People, a representative for Diamond stated in part, "Dustin did not suffer. He did not have to lie submerged in pain. For that, we are grateful."